Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, The Spiritual Justice Gem. I'm Goddess Quita, or you can call me Quita. Either one would do. I answer to both. I just want to say, if you like my content, like, share, subscribe, comment if you can. If not, you can email me. I don't mind. But you guys, it was something that I put into my spirit. I don't know. I just want to share. It's like rumors are vicious, right? Because especially when you don't know the truth. Everybody knows me personally or grew up. I don't really be around many people, but I do have identical twin sister for the ones that doesn't know. And there's this vicious rumor going around that I prostituted myself. I have never, and I'm not against anybody that has. I'm not speaking against it. This is just a personal experience of mine and who I am as a person. It's not to be taken like, oh, she's against this. No, that whatever you do with you, that's on you. I don't pay those consequences. You do. So, yeah, that I'm a prostitute, that I've prostituted myself. I don't even like to drive at night. Only reason I drove recently at night was either just to come back home or to the place where I'm staying, or to travel, which is recently. But when I was back in Florida, I stayed in the house with my kids. My life was my kids. Literally, I did. And I was on a lot of healing work, not even just my kids, my healing work, a lot of research and stuff, and just researching myself and knowing myself without other people, you know what I mean, without relationships. A lot of times that's what I was doing, and didn't even realize I'm a person that naturally moves by the beat of my own drum. I have been that way since I was a little girl. My mom, them all knew that. They all knew who I was. They was just like, oh, don't let her point her finger, because stuff starts to happen. Don't point her. And my mom would tell me all the time, don't point your finger. Don't point your finger at people. You scare people. Like, I have always been that person. I have always, who I am on camera talking about spiritual stuff. I have always seen spirits. I can see demons, and a lot of time we call them demons because they look different or whatever. You would know a demon because I was young, but the thing that I saw had red eyes, and it was dark. It was shadowy, but it was just scared. And then because I could feel, I saw this when I was younger. I could feel when something is like evil and when something is good. And I felt that the thing was just, whatever it was scared. I don't know what to call it, because it really wasn't a demon. It was just fear. And then as soon as I showed it love, I'm like, what do you want? What are you here for? My mom was like, you're not scared? I'm like, no. And I started talking to the spirit, and it just wanted to be heard, to be loved. And it told me what it wanted. It was just scared. It just wanted love. And then as soon as I started talking to it, and I'm not going to say what it wanted. I'm not privy to say that, but as soon as I understood what it wanted and I gave it what it wanted, it just left, and it transformed into this beautiful light, and it just left. And I was like 5 or 6 years old at this time when this happened. My mom was even scared of me at a point in time. My dad was terrified of me too, because I've always been so different. I've always been this way. I have never not been spiritual, even when I wasn't in the Bible or whatever, or consciously being in Christ. I'm gonna put it that way, or consciously being in my spirituality. I was born that way. I could see spirits. I could talk to spirits. I know things without knowing why I know them. I dream things before they happen a lot of times, and then it happens. I'm like, I just do. I don't know what to tell you. I always been this person. So for me to give myself to someone, you have to understand, a lot of people I've been around don't even know that I had this side to me. I'm talking about romantically now. And the one time I did show this side, it scared the freak out of this guy, and he didn't want to date me anymore. I'm laughing now, but I was hurt back then. And I could hear whoever it was, I think it was his grandfather or his father that died. It was his grandfather that died, and he really wanted me to stay with the person and really try to get the person to, to open up to more spiritual things, so that the loved one could talk to the person. And I tried that, and it didn't go so good because people minds are fragile when it comes to spiritual. Well, back then when it came to spirituality, it wasn't so prominent as it is now, as it is growing now. But I always been this way. This is not I'm not fake. I'm not putting on. This is not an act. This is not no altered persona. This is really who I am. I had people who were scared of me. My mom, she was kind of fearful of me, but she loved me, so she pushed past her fear, and so that like I was just gifted. And even before I was born, around the time that I was born, I think it was before I was born, I just know is this spiritual lady that named me. She gave me my name. Even for years until I turned 21, my name had no meaning because there was nobody that the United States has registered as my first name. And my first name is Shaquita. So no one had my name. So that was stood out to me in my journey too, until I was like, because I kept researching my name. I'm like, my name don't have no meaning, so I'm unique. I was young and I'm just like, And my sister, I have an identical twin sister. Her name is not so unique, but it's similar to mine. But other people had her name. My name was literally there was no, when I went to go search my name up, there was no meaning for my name. There was no nothing for my name. And it was just like, I was like, okay. So I started to dissect my name and try to figure out what it means. But now it just means I can sting you spiritually, or I can charm you spiritually, and that fits me perfectly. And it goes more in my chart and into other charts of mine, but we're not gonna get into that. Sorry for the noise in the background. My neighbors, can't help that. But my mom already knew I was gifted or whatever, and my dad do. He's like, you be knowing things without. How do you know this? Certain things you shouldn't know. I have always been this way, you guys. It's not. I have never not been this way. It's not like something fake I put on. I just I used to lack the confidence because of my mom when she died when I was like 10 years old, and I got adopted by my grandma or whatever, and that wasn't a great situation. I'm not gonna put the family business on blast like that, but it wasn't a great situation, and it really weighed on my confidence, how I viewed myself, everything. It wasn't a good situation, and so God had to build me up to even present who I am to the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I have not been this. I have been this person. I have uber stories that I could tell you about spirits and demons and angels and all kind of encounters that I have had, and people would think I'm crazy. A lot of people used to call me crazy. My own sister used to call me crazy. I'm like, okay, but who's sane? And then the people that they so-called sane really have issues, and they afraid to say they have issues. But that's neither here nor there. I'm getting off the subject. But yeah, I've always been this way. I have my point is, for me to be around someone, I have to feel very comfortable and safe. So it's not easy for me to do that kind of work or that kind of activity. It's not, because I am energetically, I pick up on things and I get uneasy. I hear things and I'm just like, oh. So you guys, I have just never. So I just don't believe in it. I think that that's sacred, even though at a point in my life I didn't respond like it was sacred, because I had issues with something that happened in my life, and I was healing from that and didn't realize that was what was going on until afterwards. So but me selling my body, never. I have never done that. That's never an activity I participated in, and I would be kindly appreciative if you guys focus more on God and what God has going on and the messages God is giving me. That would be so kindly appreciated. Because I don't mind sharing myself with you guys when it comes to my experiences, who I am as a person, who I did. But I just don't want, you know what I'm saying, it's other people that's sensitive to this information, and that don't want to know certain things, and that, as they write, they don't have to have their stuff broadcast on here. So I can't go into too much detail when it comes to who, when, what, where, but I can go into detail that it wasn't me. Whatever you think is not me. Especially when it comes to that content like that. Like, I have never sold my body a day in my life for money, and I put that on God, on my kids. Like, God knows me, like He knows my truth. I have never prostituted myself, and I do not encourage that kind of work. I just don't. I don't think it's healthy for anyone. But that's just my opinion on it, and people are going to do what they want to do, and you can believe the rumor or not, but God told me to speak on it because it's vicious, and it should not be, it should never been established as a rumor. It came from someone who was unhealed, a couple of people who was unhealed, let's just be honest, and who was misinformed, and I'm just here to inform you, it's not me. I never prostituted. Anybody that ever slept with can, if they tell you the truth, they would tell you no. And it's quite funny because most people who I have been intimate with, they know this side of me, and they know I get like really gushy and I'm a really mushy person. When you come talk to me, like, I'm very understanding, I'm very like soft spoken. I'm not always confident, like, oh God, so no, I'm not like that all the time, only when I need to be. I'm a very soft, gentle person. I listen, I understand, and I critique on based off what God tells me or what God shows me or what, depending on the situation. So don't ever get it twisted. I'm not against anybody that done it, and I'm not judging you for it. It's just I have never done it, and I really don't recommend anybody do it. It's not safe work, first of all, and that's something that's sacred. Second of all, very sacred. And I'm learning that more and more. Trust me, I had my times in my life where people say they went through their whole stage. I had my time. So you guys, just love and light with all that with all that jazz. Be love and light with all that jazz, because it is kind of hurtful, but at the same time it is what it is. But just be love and light with all that jazz. Especially from the past. Like, I have never done that, but just be love and light with all that jazz, you guys. And please try to know your facts before you making a judgment on someone. Because let's be honest, we all judge people. We shouldn't. But that is just not me. Go to God about it, because I have never sold my body to anyone. And I shouldn't even be on here defending myself, but God told me to speak up. So that's why